Hey, Jen.
Hi, Jen.
Jen, we're just figuring out.
Good morning.
Great, it's a great morning, Jen. All right. All right, Jen, we're just going to give it a couple of minutes. We want to make sure people can jump on. But
Okay.
how are you this morning?
I'm good. I'm good. I did not work out yet today. I'm doing it a little later.
Okay,
I am
get a couple more in the
super
book.
sore on the minute yesterday. Holy
Oh.
crap.
That was no joke.
I mean,
that was
like
hard.
I'm comfortable sleeping.
Wow.
Yeah, that was even hard us doing it. Hi, Julie.
I've got to say though that you guys have been like so amazing this past like month almost. It's just unbelievable.
Thank you so much. I totally appreciate that. Thank you.
What up, Julie?
Julie in the hizzy.
Good morning.
Good morning. Look at you. Is that your home office?
Yes, it is my home office. I need to have proof that I actually graduated.
Exactly.
Hey, I can't read that.
It's in Latin, neither can I.
All right.
She ordered it off Amazon.
I did. Got a good deal.
All right. I'll leave you to the Facebook Live, Di.
Okay, you got it.
You do the
You
Facebook
got it,
Live,
babe.
and we'll
You
get
got
the
it.
Zoom going.
I'm on
All right, so everyone, these videos, again, are just meant to keep us on track during these uncertain times. More importantly, though, if you're not here live, it's not the biggest deal because these are good to watch and watch again. So what we're going to talk about today is the five-fingered death punch of fitness. I'm trying to line it up right
Line it up.
because if you close the open hand, you make a fist, boom. So the history of the five-fingered death punch of fitness, believe it or not, it has a long history. It started way back in the day when I used to work at Gold's Gym. Now, the five-fingered death punch of fitness originated from Apex Nutrition. Now, Apex Nutrition is the company before it evolved into .Fit. And what amazed me most about the philosophy behind this company, Apex, was this was a nutrition company who flat out said, it's not about nutrition. It's about the holistic approach. It's about everything. It's about your exercise. It's about your nutrition. It's about your supplementation. It's about your recovery, your attitude. It's a holistic approach. So the first, I would say, formal education outside of college I ever had when it came to fitness in general in the real world was Apex Nutrition. And it really opened my eyes that it isn't about exercise. It's not about nutrition. It's not about recovery. It's not about mindset. It is the collective whole of it all. So to be honest, I was using back in the day, Apex called it their four pillars. It was nutrition, exercise, supplementation, and coaching. So over the years, I stole that and evolved it into the five-fingered death punch of fitness. And believe it or not, up until I would say 4 years ago, again, since 2002, 4 years ago, there was only four, and it was those four. But over time, I think you all could agree, I hope you agree, that it doesn't matter how much you try nutrition, exercise, your coach gets on you, you're taking the right supplements. If you don't have that muscle between your ears tuned in and have your attitude right, you will not do any of it. And we say this, exercise, nutrition, taking your vitamin, talking to your coach is not difficult. Everything else in your life is difficult and makes it hard to do those things. We only have so much bandwidth, and we understand that. So that's really where we came up with the five-fingered death punch of fitness is we added in attitude. And when it comes to attitude, really, you may say mindset, you may say, getting rid of stinking thinking, whatever you say, but as far as we're concerned, it's all the same stuff. And we start with that. So we truly believe here in our hearts and soul that it really encompasses everything. And if you even look at our logo, it has nothing to do with getting in shape. You can take the 5-finger death punch of fitness and apply that to any goal you had.
Okay.
Hey, if your goal was to get a promotion at your job, attitude, crush your nutrition, get physically fit, it would increase endorphins, be healthier with your vitamins, hire a coach, a business coach. It applies to anything and everything in life. We wanted to get people to understand that when we did change over and develop this logo, that it really is a symbol of victory. Of victory, it's just like, yeah, has nothing to do with lifting a weight or crushing nutrition. It's the holistic approach of everything. And when I say holistic, has nothing to do with like yoga or Pilates, earthy, crunchy, which is fine. It just means the whole piece. So today, we're going to review the 5-finger death punch of fitness and give you little tips and tricks on how you can apply that 5-finger death punch of fitness from your home. But if you can master this, you can master any freaking goal you have, because it isn't putting all your eggs in one basket. It's spreading them consistently throughout all those 5 pillars, which are great. But when you clench your fist, you can shatter a brick, baby. So, Diane, what is the first and what we think the most important part of the 5-finger death punch of fitness?
That is definitely true. I think it is the most important one. And number 1 is your attitude.
100%, it is your attitude. Believe it or not, most people who we poll will tell us that the hardest part of losing body fat or getting in shape is nutrition. It's nutrition. But let me ask you this. How easier would nutrition be if we controlled and could take control of our emotion?
Oh, so much easier, because half the time, well, I would say 99% of the reason why people eat bad is because of emotion. It's because of a behavioral, definite emotion.
Let's just use yesterday, Easter, for example. Easter. Think of the worst food you ate yesterday. What was it? It was probably something chocolate, something sugary. It's fine. Honestly, enjoy the holiday. We all did.
Yep.
If you start dialing in and digging into why you actually ate that, it becomes perfectly clear that you weren't hungry. You didn't ask for the nutrients. Most people would say, because I want it.
Yep.
Well, why the hell did you want it? Because at the end of the day, it made you feel happy. It 100% did. It did make you feel happy. That euphoric rush to your brain, all the dopamine release of satisfaction. You were happy for those 5 seconds while you were chewing that piece of chocolate brownie with peanut butter on it. Now, we all know that's just short term. So the long-term effect is, again, upset, and this is vicious cycle. But if we were able to kind of transition our attitude and thought process into getting that euphoric rush from losing a couple pounds, maybe rewarding yourself with a cool new pair of pants from Lululemon instead of food, I think we all could be a lot more successful. But ultimately, we had this conversation earlier. When it comes to attitude, it is so difficult because everything and everyone is against you. Watch the news, watch the media, some of your friends on Facebook, Instagram. There is so much negativity out there, and negativity is contagious, but so is a positive attitude. So the first thing we have to do in order to control our attitude, because attitude is all about control. It's all about you're in control. I compare it to if you're going 100 miles per hour on the highway, a state trooper pulls you over, you have a choice. How are you going to react to it? And most people will react negatively. They're going to be pissed off at the officer. They're going to give him shit. They might rip up the ticket. I'm going to talk to your boss. What's your badge number? Do you know this officer? Whatever. Or you can do what I would do and say, hey, officer, how's it going? I was going pretty fast, wasn't I? Shit. And then if I were to be upset, I'd be upset at myself. And I would own it because I then am in control. It wasn't the officer. It wasn't the rain. It was me. I wasn't paying attention. And next time, I should probably pay attention and not go as fast. You have to own it. Which person would have a better rest of the day? Me or the person who blamed the cop, blamed the speedometer, the there was a speed trap. Shut up. Honestly, it was me. I own it. So when it comes to our nutrition, we really have to find a way to own it. Any thoughts on
Yeah,
that?
I mean, we're totally in control of how we react to things.
Totally.
And like, it's not always easy to make that decision based on everything else that's going on in your life. So you have to consciously decide what way you're going to go. You're either going to go the way of owning it or blaming everybody else. It does set the tone for the day, the week, or the goal, whatever that goal is.
So in this Coliseum arena of all this negativity, it's going to affect you on some level. So we suggest you do your best to kind of mitigate and get rid of some of this negativity in your life. I would suggest during this climate, limit your watching of the news. You have to limit it because the news media does not report happy stories.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't get watched. There's no clicks. So do your best to watch that. Number two, if there are people in your news feed who are causing you to be upset or get negative, unfollow. And there's a lot of them. And start surrounding yourself with like-minded people who maybe are putting you up, not pulling you down. Jen, I think you mentioned you started following people who are very positive in your news feed. That is a perfect solution. So ultimately, we are in control how we react and act, but it is very difficult when you're surrounded by negativity. So again, you cleanse the environment, and I would suggest every person, the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is have a little gratitude. Have a little gratitude. What are you grateful for? I mean, shit, everyone I'm talking to on this Zoom call or Facebook, you're breathing, you can walk, you're healthier than most, you're alive. There's a lot to be grateful for. We're part of this amazing community. If we just practice these simple steps early and often, it's going to make the next step, the second part of the 5-figure Death Punch of Fitness, that much easier, which is nutrition. And again, whether it's exercise, supplements, talking to your coach, nutrition, if you don't have that brain, that beautiful muscle in between your ears, right, everything else will fail. It all starts with your attitude and gratitude, and hell, we got this. Because the rest of the things we're going to tell you are quite simple, don't you think, Diane?
Yes, in theory.
In theory. It's simple in theory. Application, sometimes it's hard because number one gets in our way. All right, Diane. That was number one. I could spend forever talking about that.
Okay.
But actually, I'm going to tell one more story about that. I have talked more people out of quitting their jobs and their spouses based on number one. And I can tell you they're all better people now. So if you have a pissed off husband or wife, you better tell them, you've been talking to Frank, you better look up, calm down, calm down. You're already sleeping on the couch. You may be sleeping in the truck soon. Frank got you. Okay. So number two, Diane, number two, which again is very important. What is number two?
Number two is nutrition. And honestly, it is one of the harder pillars in simple in theory, very hard in application. Your attitude definitely will come into play here because we all know if you have practiced nutrition or you've tried to lose weight, lose body fat, how important nutrition is, even more so than fitness. And we run into things like frustration, not being patient, wanting everything to happen quickly. And those are things that affect your attitude towards your nutrition. So that's a fine line there too, like knowing where you're going and kind of the mindset that you have to have when it comes to nutrition, which is always going to be very good.
Okay, so let's start at the top. When it comes to nutrition, the most important part of understanding nutrition is going to be, what are your expectations? And then what is your plan? In our humble opinion, I believe, Diane believes, we all believe that if you are on a nutrition plan, whatever it is, you're doing a shred diet, you're just watching your carbs, whatever you do, these things have to happen for it to work. Number one, hire a coach, follow directions. That's the most important thing. Number two, Diane mentioned this so eloquently earlier, is patience. as far as we're concerned, don't measure any sort of success physically and cosmetically until 14 days. It takes 14 days. If it's the 14th day, you step on the in-body, you look at yourself in the mirror, you try on an old pair of jeans, and there is no difference, something's wrong. But you can't, after a day or two, say, this doesn't work, I'm out of here. It's not going to work. It's
But we've all done it.
of course,
We've all done it.
but the reason people do that, we all do that, is there is such a lack of proper information out there, and everyone in the media and all these diets are lying to you. 3-day cleanse, drop 7 pounds in 3 days. Get the hell out of here. Yeah, somebody might. If you've done a shred with us, the first 3 days you might, but the magic number is always 14. Consistency when it comes to nutrition is everything. One step further, this is the last point, so we move on. You 100% need to be in a caloric deficit. I don't care what macros you're eating, if you're doing keto, South Beach, Atkins, fasting, whatever we're doing, the hierarchy needs to put you in a deficit. And the problem with a deficit, it makes you hungry. You are uncomfortable. Your body is saying, Jen, Julie, I need more energy to maintain my current size and shape. And that's when you go, you know what, tummy? Go get it somewhere else. And your body will 100% start eating away at the fat, because all this good stuff here is stored energy. So when you need some and you're uncomfortable, trust me, your body doesn't want to do this, but it will eat it when it needs to. It's there. So you have to be in a deficit. That has to happen all the time. So nutrition, that's the hierarchy of nutrition. And again, it's not easy, but it has to be an everyday occurrence. It doesn't work Monday through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm kind of left the gas a little bit, because if you do the math, my friends, 3 days a week multiplied by 4 is 12. That's 12 days, let's just say out of 30, that you weren't on your diet. So if you're to ask me, Frank, you were on your diet 4 out of 7 days, how has your diet been? I would say, So if our answer is, then you're going to have results. But if you told me I've been damn well perfect, you should expect and you will yield perfect results. So, Diane, let's talk about nutrition, what it should look like, what we're all aiming to do for optimal results.
For optimal results, we want to aim for that really high protein, good nutrient, low cal food.
Yep.
Because we all know that we want to just feed the muscle and starve the fat.
This is not a steak. This is actually a pound of muscle. This is a pound of fat. What muscle weighs more than fat?
Ideally, we want to make sure that when we are losing weight, it's not the muscle that we're losing, it's just the extra body fat that we want to get rid of. So you have to have the right nutrition plan in place for that to happen. And it has to be a high protein, good carb, low calorie, high nutrient diet.
So what we always preach is this. It's really, the more difficult a nutrition plan is, the more stress there is on you mentally and sometimes even physically, because you're going to be hungry. So we want to make it as easy as possible for you. Very simple. So when we give you a nutrition plan, we purposely don't give you food to eat. Why the hell would I tell you to eat all these different meals if you don't like those foods, or if you don't like to cook, you hate shopping? That is not going to help you. And honestly, if I told you exactly what to eat for every meal, we are essentially fishing for you. We need you to learn how to fish for yourself, regardless if you yield results or not. You may say to me, hey, Frank, I get it. I just don't want to do it. I love working out with you. I love you. Good. But ultimately, our plans are always super simple and doable. So there are 2 things that we really need everyone to concentrate on in the hierarchy of body fat loss, which is, let's be honest, almost everybody. So the single most important thing in the hierarchy is your calories. Calories matter. You always get the person that says, yeah, but my friend Susie, she's actually eating more food now, more calories, and she's losing more weight. Full of shit.
If I had $1 for every time I've heard that, honestly, she may be eating more good quality food and less crap, but she's not eating more calories. It just doesn't work that way.
More volume. Here's an example. Yesterday, Susie may have had 3 slices of pizza, a little bowl of spaghetti, and a piece of garlic bread. I'm just gonna throw it out there. That's
maybe 5 or 6 things.
That's 2,000 calories right there. Today, Susie might have 3 salads with some protein. If she budgets this right, she could be in around 1,300 calories. If you were to measure both groups of food day to day on a big scale, today, the salad day would be a lot more volume. Hell, I could go up to your house with a wheelbarrow full of lettuce and tomatoes, 500 calories for the whole wheelbarrow, pretty damn good. So it's not that, it's a lot of salad. So it always starts with the calories. And I'm sure based on that example, high value, low calorie foods, lean meats, vegetables, more volume. Low value, really high calorie, junk foods, crackers, pizzas, pastas, not a lot of food, super high in calorie. So chances are something has really, really high taste, it's really, really high in calorie. Low taste, it's probably gonna be low in calorie, and you just have to wrap your head around this. So we want you to choose the foods, whatever you like, but also I do want you to go into a supermarket and say, that doesn't have a lot of calories. I usually get that, but I'm not getting that anymore. I do want you to walk into Panera Bread and go, wow, I was gonna get 2 pecan muffins, but I'm just gonna get 1 now, based on the calories. Calories rule. When it comes to calories, you have to be in a deficit. You have to consume less than you're burning. Now, though it's damn right impossible for us to accurately dictate how many calories we burn, we don't want you to even count that. We don't want you to count that, but also when we get in the habit of counting calorie expenditure, we start rewarding ourselves. Let's be honest, we do. Let's just say, yeah, you worked out twice today. I'm gonna give myself an extra piece of bread with peanut butter. Don't do that. We're starting to reward ourselves and making decisions based on comfort and want, not on nutritional value. So let's not go down that road. So calories reign supreme. Number 2 is gonna be protein. Protein. No matter what, in a caloric deficit consistently, let's just say it's 14 days, you, Diane, Jen, Julie, your asses are gonna get smaller. It's gonna happen. It cannot not happen. Now, we choose what we wanna lose. If I'm in a deficit and my protein is in the friggin' basement, there is nothing that's gonna build and repair and maintain lean body mass. And as far as your body's concerned, this guy here, this lean body mass, this takes a lot of work for your body to sustain. And if you're not consuming enough food and you don't have the nutrient support, your body says, okay, dude, I got a choice. This guy here stored energy. This guy here takes a lot of work and gets rid of it. So it's very important that we do have the macronutrient support of protein to ensure that we're feeding that lean body mass, that fat burning machinery, that metabolic currency, and we starve the fat. A recipe for rapid muscle loss, low calorie, low protein. Now, the craziest thing about losing muscle is you're actually lowering your basal metabolic rate. Normal things that we do on a daily basis, going for a walk, just your heart beating, you're working out, you burn less calories doing that because you have less fat burning machinery, less metabolic currency. So we want to keep that metabolic rate as high as we possibly can while we force your body to eat the fat. Protein is king. And again, how important is protein? Here's the facts. You can live without having another carbohydrate the rest of your life. You may not thrive, but you will survive. If I told you never eat another gram of protein again, you will die. Protein is king, and it's a fact. So your protein has to be up. And Diane, what are our recommendations for protein these days?
Recommendations are 1 gram per pound of lean body mass. So if your lean body mass is say around 105, 106, that's how much protein in grams that you want to be looking to take in every single day.
Now, for some of us, we did a whole video just on protein hacks. For some of us, if you really find that you're having a really hard time hitting that number, and for most of us, it's going to be over 100 grams of protein. It's going to be over 100 grams. If you find that exercise being daunting, even after watching our video on protein hacks, get as close as you can.
Yep.
You may run the risk of losing some lean body mass, but you will not lose it at the rate you would if you weren't cautious. Here's an example. If our goal with you was 100 grams, and normally before you met us, you were at like 20% of that, let's just say, hey, Frank, I'm doing my best. I'm going to get it up to 75% of that. So now you're doing 75 grams of protein. Hey, that's a huge jump. I'm proud of you.
You're already doing better.
You are crushing it.
Already doing better.
So the two things we really like to concentrate on really is calories and protein. And everyone always asks, well, Diane, should I really be counting my carbohydrates and my fats and my sodium and my zinc?
Going back to keeping it simple, it would be so frustrating and hard if you tried to track every macronutrient, which is why we don't have people do that, honestly. Just getting people to do calories and protein is enough. And those are the two easiest things to track. If you get too crazy, you're going to get frustrated and say, I can't do this. It's just too much work, which is why we don't do it, because we want to keep it as simple as possible with the most important things at the top. The other things will take care of themselves.
To Diane's point, in our experience, as long as you watch your calories and you watch your protein, the other macronutrients will work themselves out. They always do. They always do. So, again, I could talk nutrition forever with everyone, but again, just to recap the whole nutrition component, the most important thing is, number one, getting your head wrapped around your control and understanding that now food is going to be based on nutrient value, not want, not emotion, not taste. It's going to be on nutrition value. So expect to be uncomfortable. I say this with all sincerity. If you are hungry, what you perceive as hungry, you are losing body fat. If you never feel hunger or that uncomfortable feeling of a deficit, your body has no need to go into glyconeogenesis where it starts eating fat. We need to feel that uncomfortable feeling. You have to feel it. So that's number one. Number two, give yourself 14 days of consistency. That's it. Okay. Again, nutrition, boom. Number three, Diane. And the 5-fingered death punch of fitness.
Here's where we move on to your strength training or your exercise fitness part of the whole 5 fingers. And this is, I'm going to say one of the easier things, because a lot of people will put in the work thinking that that's what is, going to get them smaller, lose weight, body fat. They put a lot of emphasis on the exercise part, which is why it falls below the nutrition, because when it comes to reaching a body comp goal of any sort, weight loss, body fat loss, your nutrition has to come first. Then number 3 is your fitness. You do need to use your muscle. You have to use it so you don't lose it, but you have to use it just enough. And working out more doesn't yield more results or faster results when it comes to our fat loss.
So here we are in 2020. We are all in the fitness industry here. The fitness and technology industry is the biggest boom right now. Everyone's a trainer. I find it so disheartening that out of all the trainers out there, all the trainers I teach to and speak to, you know what they sell and you know what they're teaching? Exercise. Not one of you or anyone who watches this has ever come to me and says, yeah, Frank, I want to do lunges.
Right.
There's usually a solution. There's a goal, like I want to lose body fat, I want to feel better, I want to move better, I want to recover better. So by me giving you exercise, it's like you coming to a restaurant and me just giving you an apple without knowing what you want. It makes no sense. Yet we do this all the time. And again, this is a Frank Nash statement. Exercise alone is a horrible vehicle for fat loss. It is the worst vehicle for fat loss because let's go back to number 1 and number 2 again. And we're going to keep exercise over here. Number 1, your attitude, the stress on the brain, again, will affect the stress on the body. We all know how hard it is when you have that stress to make good nutrition choices. So let me throw in a shitload of exercise on top of that to make you even more stressed out. And of course, we know exercise will increase your calorie burn. It will increase your need to eat to maintain your current shape, your size. So you know that thing that we fight at night around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock now, that's a little lighter later, where we're like, should I have a couple crackers? Should I get some popcorn? That feeling, that emotional battle that we're going through is damn right impossible if we're exercising all the time because the stress level is higher, your need for calories is that much higher. The whole point of exercise for fat loss is one thing: maintain lean body mass while you're in a deficit. So though emotionally, and again, I'm speaking to some of my crazies out there who love exercise, if you just love exercise, do it all the time, as long as you understand how it factors into this process. Let me give you an example. If I had a goal, which was I need to get lean for my daughter's wedding, my nephew's wedding, whatever it is, that is the goal. It supersedes everything. But I really love exercise too. If I find that I'm having a hard time, Diane, sticking to this nutrition plan, what would you have me do?
I would probably have you cut down on some of your exercise.
Cut down. Now, and here's the decision we'll have with our clients. We have two things here, two different things. You want to get lean for the wedding, and you love exercise. Which one is more important? Because we can only achieve one right now based on the road you're going down.
Right. If you're exercising so much that it's taking your focus off the things that are going to get you to your ultimate goal, we need to switch it.
Right. Now, I have a lot of weird friends in this industry, and some of them own some franchises, whether it's a Barry's Boot Camp, Soul Cycle, Orange Theory. Now, what really weirds me out about this is everyone who walks into these places, they have a goal, whether it's strength, speed, recovery, fat loss. All right, hop on a treadmill. I never said I wanted to walk on a treadmill. I said I wanted to lose 10 pounds. It makes no sense, and it really is sad that the industry is so like this, but we refuse to never, as hard as it is for us, we refuse to never give up on that. So when it comes to exercise, Diane, we all know it burns calories, it causes stress, but exercise is the stimulus which tells your body, in combination with the adequate amounts of protein, I need you. I need you for survival purposes, so don't you go anywhere. If you want some energy, body, eat the fat. That's the whole point of exercising for fat loss. It is never to burn calories. I repeat, it is never to burn calories. The goal for fat loss and exercise is never to burn calories. It's lean body mass maintenance. Now, in the hierarchy of the type of exercise that we should do in a perfect world is what, Diane?
Strength training 100% of the time.
Strength training, lifting heavy enough. And the reason strength training is so powerful and such an amazing tool when it comes for fat loss is that there are so many variables. And I hate to use the word to confuse, but to prevent your body from those adaptations which will stop you from changing. A very simple variable is increase the weight, slow down the tempo, speed up the tempo, go lower, go faster, take less rest in between exercise. All these variables are super, super effective with strength training. If you're doing bodyweight training, which a lot of us are now, it is what it is. Hey, you're home, you got one kettlebell, you got a band, we're gonna make it. But 1 month is not gonna change anything. We're talking over a long period of time. So you're all good. But if it was over a a 6-month period and you were only doing bodyweight exercises, you will notice a diminishing return after about 8 weeks. After about 8 weeks, your body will say, okay, I get this. You know, you're strong enough. I mean, what are you going to start doing? 200 push-ups in a row? It's not going to happen. So when it comes to the strength training and how it inserts itself into the 5-Finger Death Punch of Fitness, it truly really is about stressing out that muscle to make sure that it stimulates it so you don't lose it. Diane, in a perfect world, exercise-wise, what would that look like for someone who's just, listen, I got a goal, I want to look good in about 8 weeks for vacation. What would that look like?
That would look like anywhere between 2 and 4 times per week to get to your goal. 2 will get you there. 3 might get you there a little bit quicker, maybe. But we've seen people get phenomenal results doing 2 strength trainings a week and killing their nutrition. Really, the more you work out, like I said before, it doesn't mean you get there any faster. If you love exercise and you want to work out and you can fit it into your schedule more than twice, great. Somewhere between 2 and 4 really is the magic number, with the whole goal being to maintain your lean body mass while you are losing fat.
Now remember, there are other amazing benefits of strength training that you get. Now, is strength training cardio? Shit, if you've ever worked out, well, that's damn right it is. So if I'm doing a heavy squat and a heavy push, if I just limit the time in between while one body part is recovering, I'm working the other one, my heart rate's jacked up. So you get best of both worlds. Is strength training HIIT training? Yes, it is. It can be. You know, do an exercise, give yourself negative rest, go again. It can be HIIT training. But also, strength training is rehabilitation training on some level. It gets you stronger. It's the whole point. So in terms of patterns, your ligaments, your tendons, your range of motion, you will solidify and strengthen all of these. Also, it builds armor. If you gain a little bit of muscle, let's just say you fell and landed, that's armor. It will absorb the shock. There's so many benefits of strength training, but I digress. That is in a vacuum. Let's just say, for those of you watching, you absolutely don't care. You hate strength training. It's not for you. Listen, get the booty moving.
Yep.
I used to have a slide of a little boy pushing this donkey like out of a pen, and I would just say, move that ass. Just gonna move that ass. Now again, as I get a little longer in the tooth, I'm not as much of an exercise snob or purist as I once was. If you were ever one of my clients 20 years ago, Diane, I would tell you, either you're doing this or you're doing nothing.
Right.
What, you don't care about results? I'm so soft now. Whatever you like. If you want to do Zumba, you want to do Richard Simmons, I don't care. Just understand that if you are in a caloric deficit, even though if your protein is high, you may see a loss of muscle over time, but that's okay. I would rather you do that to do nothing. Again, this is just best case scenario.
Yes.
So we actually used to call number 3 strength training. It's exercise now, but we will explain the hierarchy. Strength training, all that other shit underneath. Okay.
Awesome.
Woo! Here we go. Here we go. Number 4, baby. Diane, what is number 4?
Number 4, all about supplementation.
Supplementation. Wait, Diane, let me tell you though. I'm just not into supplements. I don't do supplements, but aren't we supposed to get all of our vitamins and minerals and nutrients through food? Shouldn't we do that?
You know, honestly, in a perfect world, yes. Best case scenario, you do get everything through food alone. Food always first. You want to get as much as you can through good, high nutrient foods. But if you're in a caloric deficit, there will be gaps in your nutrition. The supplementation will fill in those gaps without adding extra calories, which is exactly what we're looking for.
Hell, I'll say this. You, me, Diane, everyone has supplemented from the day we were conceived. Your parents took a prenatal multivitamin while you were in the womb. When you grew up, hell, you put salt on food. It's a supplement. Maybe your parents gave you a kid's vitamin. I don't know. When you're sick, you take a medication. Everything is the food that you eat has been fortified. Heaven forbid you eat meat. Do you not think that those cows or animals were somehow supplemented, whether they pump full of this or that, so you're eating a byproduct? Do you think that the vegetables you eat were not sprayed with some sort of pesticide at some point? unless you hunt or grow your own food, you are supplemented on some level. Now, when it comes to just your normal baseline recommendations of vitamins and minerals, food today in 2020 grown is nowhere near as nutritious as it once was. Let's just say 30 years ago. That's a fact. We all know that. Same thing with the meats. Unless you're buying Kobe, Wagyu, beef, it is not happening. So all a multivitamin is to ensure that you're getting all those vitamins and minerals that you're not getting through food alone. Now, it is impossible for me or Diane to adequately tell you how many vitamins and minerals are in that apple because I have no idea where it came from. And even if I did, I don't know the farmer. I don't know what's in the soil. And let's just say that the apple came from another part of the country. The soil content and nutrient density of the earth is so much different. So depending on where you get meats, fruits, vegetables around the earth, it's going to have different nutrient content. So a multivitamin really is just a stopgap insurance policy. And that's what we tell people. When it comes to supplementation, a multivitamin and mineral formula is the only mandatory. Now, we're just going to go down the line a little bit and say, I don't know, if you're deficient somewhere else, that's where you supplement. Now, if you're watching this video and you're in New England like me, chances are pretty high that you're not outside a lot because we have winters and a hurricane outside right now.
And if you are recently, you're still not getting it.
Totally.
Vitamin D, not getting it.
Right. So chances are very high that we're all vitamin D deficient. I'm not telling you why. You should definitely check with your doctor. But I always get the pushback. Frank, but aren't we supposed to get vitamin D through the sun? Yes, we're supposed to, but we don't. Human beings were never designed to be inside as much as we are, but thanks to this abundance of culture and society, we are. If I worked on an orange plantation in Florida, do you think I would need vitamin D? No, but I don't. I'm a bald albino trainer who works inside. So I take vitamin D. Now, calcium. Calcium, calcium, calcium. Very important. We all know what calcium does. Calcium is responsible for building strong teeth and bones. Now, here's a fact. 1% of all calcium is in your bloodstream, and it is responsible for muscle contraction, whether it voluntarily, I'm flexing my arm, it takes calcium to do this, or involuntarily. My heart beating, my brain function, this cannot happen without calcium. Now, if there is a lack of calcium in my diet, my body still has to move, whether voluntarily or involuntarily. It has to happen. It's short-term survival. Diane, if my body needs to move, it needs calcium, where the hell is it going to take this calcium from?
Bones.
Bones. That's where osteoporosis comes in, osteopenia comes in, is it's your body literally stripping the bones of calcium so it can use it in triage to do other type things. Now, the average American doesn't drink milk anymore. So chances are very high that we have a lack of calcium in our diet. Are you deficient? I don't know. You tell me. You get 1,000 milligrams up to 1,500 milligrams a day. If you don't, you're deficient. Take a calcium supplement. It's important. And again, but if you do, if you're one of my milk drinker friends, you don't need a calcium supplement. It's fine. But you do need a multi. We'll go down the road 2 more. So the next one is omega-3. Omega-3 fish oil. Very simple. 95% of Americans don't eat fish any more than 2 times a week. As far as we're concerned, those people could benefit from an omega-3. And omega-3, just by itself, can help decrease your risk of heart disease up to 50% in some studies. Also, help improve cognitive abilities. It does help with cosmetic type goals like fat loss. It does help with nutrients, other nutrient support. It is a powerful, powerful supplement. But if you eat fish 2 to 4 times a week regularly, you don't need an omega-3. But if you find that you're not it's really not the worst idea in the world. The very last one we're going to talk about is the king, protein. Based on the most recent research from 2015, when the World Protein Summit happened, all these smart nerds and nerdettes from the nutrition industry came up with a new recommendation, which is 1 gram per 1 pound of lean body mass, of protein. Now, if you've ever tried this through food alone, I have, I know Diane has, it's almost impossible. Now, I did it during our family barbecue with you guys, but outside of that 1 day a year, it just doesn't happen. It's too much work for me. But if you happen to be that person, you walk around with a cooler, you're snacking on protein all day, congratulations, you got it. But for me or for you, I need a very quick, low-cal, efficient solution to hit my 1 gram per 1 pound of lean body mass. Because the craziest thing, the most important part of protein, which no one talks about, is protein is anti-aging. Protein is anti-aging. It is the sarcopenia-fighting macronutrient. Now, what is sarcopenia? It is a negative effect of muscle loss due to natural aging. It just happens. The older we get, and I mean this in the nicest way, the more useless we are. In terms of, it's a fact, tell your husbands that, it's true. In terms of evolution, in terms of reproduction, in terms of just everything, humans aren't meant to live that long. We do, so we're gonna deal with it. Now, because of this new hurdle, the older we get, the more protein we need to fight off sarcopenia. So here's an example. If you're 18, you're a high school football player, you're Tyler, you're a hockey player, you don't need as much protein. You'll get away with, you don't even need the 1 gram per 1 pound. I would argue that you can get away with 0.8 and crush it. That Tyler is like a flower full of fertilizer just growing. Now, if you're over 30, you're on the other end. We need double. So I would argue that if you go over your protein, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, awesome. If you happen to be pushing 65, 70, try if you can get to 2 grams or drink Amino Boost all day, every day. All day, every single day. Because what we're doing is we're taking this natural occurrence, which is aging and muscle loss, atrophy, and we're saying, I don't want that to happen. So I'm gonna do something unnatural, which is drink Amino Boost all day and eat protein all day. It is what it is. But the cool thing about this is, though, if you were to look at someone in their 70s, 60 years ago, everyone's a frail old man. Those days are over. It doesn't have to happen unless you wanted to. You can control your exercise, your mindset, and your nutrition, which is your protein intake. There are 70-year-old bodybuilders now. I'm not saying you have to do that, but the end goal is for us to do the things we love to do as long as we want to do them to the day we die. So whatever your activity is that you love to do, if it's golfing, cycling, swimming, on your 100th birthday, I want you swinging the golf club, riding the bike, swimming, and just die. You did it to the end of days. Yes, Frank said he wants you to die. What do we say? Live long, live strong, drop dead. Live longer, live stronger, drop dead. That's my philosophy. So I think we covered supplements pretty well. So when it comes to supplements, are supplements natural? Well, to be honest, living as a human being past the age of 35 really isn't natural. It's not natural, but thanks to, again, penicillin, medicine, thanks to our abundance of society, refrigeration, we live indoors. There's a lot of reasons why we have cheated death. So saying that, we got to do some unnatural things to get what we want. All right, I digress. The last one, and the most important one, actually, believe it or not, everyone, we changed this over the years. We have completely changed this over the years. The fifth one, Diane, we used to call it coaching. We changed that the last year, and it's now community. And yes, coaching is part of the community, but you can maybe do it by yourself. If you have a coach, you'll do a hell of a lot better if you have a coach and you are part of community, you are damn right unstoppable. I think we truly believe that it does take a village, and it isn't about a dictatorship. It's about all of us. So the cheerleading, the support that Julie, Jen, you guys provide the rest of the community is equally as helpful and important as me pushing my expertise downhill. As a member, I don't know if I always want to reach out to my coach. I want to reach out to a peer. And we think that's equally as important. And we've, again, adopted the philosophy that it's not me, it's we, and we're all in this together. So we've actually changed that. We do think that it really is about us. It's not about me. It's really not about you. It's about all of us collectively and pooling our resources. Like Jen, you sent me an awesome motivational thing the other day. Hell, I love that. I mean, that's the stuff that we all need to do all the time. What we never want to happen is someone join our crazy cult and just sit there and wait for a coach to bark orders down. That's not going to work. But if they're a part of the process, this living, breathing ecosystem that they're equally a part of, we think that it's going to get most of us to really flourish if we wanted to. If we wanted to.
I don't think there's anybody out here watching or that will rewatch this later that would argue that this all works better because you are part of a community. It's not just a coach-client relationship. We've built this community so that everybody knows each other. People are comfortable with each other. Everybody has kind of like-minded goals, and you will get a better result and a better outcome because you are part of a whole community.
We really want and need everyone watches to understand that we want you involved. We need you involved. We want to hear your voice, but also we want to make it like if you weren't a part, something is wrong. Like something will be missing. Like I'll just use Jen for example. Jen, if you no longer were a part of this, something is missing from our culture. Some part of our DNA has been extracted, and that's what makes it special. And Julie, you as well, and most of our members, if you were to disappear tomorrow, it wouldn't be right. And I think just me knowing that, like shit, you know this, even some of your jobs, it's not the same. Jen, if I didn't hear from you in 5 days, I would fucking call the search party. I would, because something's wrong. I mean, something is wrong. We say it all the time. But we don't want to make you uncomfortable, but we really want you to be like that. So you are part of this living, breathing organism, which is Stronger. Which again, if you go back to the history of Stronger, if you remember, it used to be called Frank Nash Training Systems. The main movement behind the change was that I was young and silly and stupid and maybe egotistical, and I really thought it was about me. It's not about me. It's about Diane, Joe, Matt. It's about Julie. It's about Jen. It really is about all of us. It's a stronger community. And when you look at the name Stronger, it has nothing to do with getting physically stronger. You can become emotionally stronger. You can build a stronger community, your little community within this community. You get friends. Shit. It's about you just being better. Hell, if you leave this community at some point and you learn a shitload of stuff and you're empowered, as far as I'm concerned, you're stronger. And you're forever stronger. Just get 1 degree better every single day. But quick recap, the 5-finger Death Punch of Fitness is simply this. The single most important thing is going to be your attitude. You are in control. You definitely control how you act and react to everything in life. You're in control. Number 2 is your nutrition. If you got that attitude in check, you can better understand nutrition. Nutrition's simple. In theory, application may be hard if number 1 isn't good. Low cal, high protein, 14 days, crush it. And for the love of all that is holy, log your damn food so your coaches can see. Number 3, exercise. Zumba, Pilates, spin, I don't care what it is, in a vacuum, lift heavy shit at least twice a week. Tell that muscle, I need you. Don't you dare go away on me. That coupled with proper amounts of protein, adequate amounts of protein, is straight magic, baby. That's where the magic happens. Feed the muscle, starve the fat. Number 4, supplementation. Take a damn multivitamin. It's the single most important, only mandatory supplement there is. Everything else, where are you deficient? Most of us, almost all of us, are going to be omega-3 deficient and protein deficient. If you're getting it through food, you don't need it. But if you're not, supplement. Make your life easier. Number 5 is community. Coaches, fellow members, members who chirp a lot, members who don't chirp a lot. We are all this intertwining community of people yearning to get better, i.e. stronger. So you take those 5 components, you can maybe move and push a brick with that open hand, but if you clench that fist, you can shatter a brick and shatter your goals. So, Diane Hastings, Frank Nash, I am out. Save this one in your back pocket and watch this again. Love you guys. Peace.